Alright, Seestar has this little competition to process some Seestar S30 Pro data, so I thought I would record how I do it and show you. And the link to download the FITS files is here. There's two of them. One is an M31 image and one is a Milky Way image. I'm going to use PixInsight for this because this is what I'm most comfortable with, and then we're going to end up with something that looks a little bit like this. My goal here is to teach you the tools that you need to try and get something even better than this. Let's get to the demo. Alright, so I'm going to bring in the Andromeda image. I'm going to do a quick and dirty processing of this. So first I'm going to flip it, rotation 90 degrees. Great. And then I'll do a quick dynamic crop. Just a little bit to get out of the edges. It just looks like there's some field rotations. I think this was done in Alt-Az and not equatorial mode, which is cool. I'm going to do a dynamic background extraction. I like selecting the edges. Alright, so that looks okay. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do astrometry, image solver. Great. Now I'll do SPCC. I'm just using the Sony VIR cut base. This is just my saved specs, but if you're taking it from the process folder or the process menu here, you may have to change those manually. Alright, the colors of the stars are now good. And then I'll use Blur X to do a quick correct only. It fixes the stars. Okay, so now we can go like back and forth. You can see the stars look a little bit better. Okay, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to remove stars. So I'm just dragging my star X here. You can also just start it separately. There we go. And I'm just going to rename this to M31. You could do MAS multi-scale adaptive stretch, but I'm going to do GHS because it lets me control the core a little bit better. And I'm going to just select a blank spot, send it to SP, increase the stretch factor a little bit, increase my local intensity, decrease the protect highlights, press apply, reset, change the transformation type to linear, bring it down, but don't want to clip any black data, and reset, generalized hyperbolic stretch, send to SP, slow stretch. The core looks pretty good. Okay, I think this is okay for now. I'm going to make a copy of this. I'm going to create a mask, so I'm going to do ACDNR, and I'm going to do a lightness mask. Click on preview, and I'm going to play with the midtones. So that the galaxy itself is a little bit black. So it's going to create a mask around that. Great, okay. Alright, so the Andromeda is protected. I'm going to leave the mask on, visible. I'm going to click on curves, do a preview, and then I can do a quick S-curve to darken the surroundings a little bit so that it looks a little bit better. Okay, so now I'm going to do an invert. Mask, Control-Shift-I works too. Curves, preview, let's do saturation. Bring it up. I'm going to reset and I'm going to do saturation one more time. You can see some of the blue starts to appear, some of the magenta starts to appear. And then I can do some RGBK adjustments. Great. I'm going to remove the mask. I'm going to do a noise exterminator. I'm going to do intensity and frequency separation around 75 and 90. Look at that, kind of magic. Okay, and you can see some of the pink areas there. Okay, great. And then some of the blue areas here, which is cool. One tool I like using is, if I go to script, or utilities, it's going to be color mask mod. And what I can do is I can zoom in and then select like different sections. It'll tell me like where the color is. So I'm just looking for like one of the blue ones. So like, yeah, there you go, see it's blue. and then I can use these sliders to move it around a little bit, and then the blur, mask blur, so there's like layer 2 or 3, and it's going to be a lightness mask. You can also do a chrominance. It seems to remember between sessions, so I got the blue there, so that's a quick lightness mask there. I can apply the mask. I can go back to curves, and then I'll zoom in here, so control, click and drag. You can see the blue kind of starts to pop a little bit more. It's not a lot, it's very, very subtle, but it looks pretty good. Okay. Remove mask. The other thing I can do is I'll go back to the mask, utilities, color mask mods. There's also color mask. There's also another COLOUR mask. And I'm going to try and get some like the pink areas. Yeah, I can see like some of the magenta areas there. Whoops. Oh my god, the zoom on this is kind of annoying. There we go. So I'm just going to select the pinks. Okay, and let's see what we get. There we go. So this is my way of doing like a faux continuum subtraction, but this is not a good continuum subtraction. This is not a true continuum subtraction, I'll say that. I apply the mask. I'll do curves. Let's go back here, increase the saturation. You can see they start to get a little bit more red. I'll switch this to chrominance and try and apply that. That might look a little bit weird. Man, I have no idea how this is going to look on the video. It's like very, very subtle in my screen as well, but it's starting to look pink. Okay. I'm going to remove the mask. And then what we can do is we can go to Script, Utilities, Toolbox, Selective Color Correction, which is another script. We can import our mask, which is going to be what's it called? 60, so it ends in 60. This one, 360 color mask. And click on Show Mask so we can see what that is. Okay, and then we can up the red. But anyways, this is a like, if you wanted like actual H-alpha data, you should take H-alpha frames. But I'll just click on Apply. Okay, and then I will reset this because the values don't reset. And then I'm going to select blue, see what the mask is showing. So it has like the edge and some of the background here. And I'm going to zoom in and see if we can make it a little bit more blue with some saturation. Yeah, you can see it looks a little bit better. But let's take a look at the spot here. Yeah, this looks okay. Okay, cool. So I'll apply this, reset, and then I'll switch to yellow because the yellow is going to be a big part of this. Yeah. So I can try and do a little bit of contrast here. It'll make the dark areas look a little bit better. Look at this. Let's zoom in. It does mess up the core a little bit, but the dark regions look a little bit better. The dust regions, which is okay, I think. We can also turn down the yellow here so that it looks a little bit less yellow. And I think like the red and blue here are starting to pop as well, which is cool. Okay, switch down the contrast a little bit. So definitely keep playing with this, and then I'll look at the luminance. Look at the luminance mask here, which is going to be this whole thing. Let's see if I can increase the contrast here, what that does. No, it didn't do much. I mean, it did do something, but I'll click on Apply, and once that's done, I'll close it, and this is what it looks like. See some pinks, some blues everywhere. Dust looks good. Look at GHS. This looks good. If you want, you can apply a little bit more stretch here. I don't know, I feel like I could have gotten more blue out of this. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to use SETI Astro's Star Stretch. It's going to be the image will want stars. I'll do show preview. Increase the saturation and the stretch amount. I think that's good enough. Stars look good, and then I'll use image blend. Utilities, image blend. This is M31. Let it load, and then I guess I already got my stars. And then you can change the intensities here by affecting the black point and highlights for both of these sections. So like this, you'll see that it makes it a little bit darker. I usually do it at like 90%, but this actually blows out the core, so I'm gonna just leave it at 100. And the core looks really good there. I like it. And then when you do the black point on the stars, it gets dimmer. You can also leave it at 100%. And then if you decrease the highlights, it'll make it brighter, which I don't want to do. Maybe a tiny bit. Alrighty. Alrighty, and this is my finished product. There's some green haze around this. I see it when I make it big, so I can't actually do a CNR, just default settings, so you can see the green haze goes away. I'm just gonna go back and forth. Okay, that looks fine. Stars look good. Background looks fine. The outer edges, a lot of color noise there, but again, my mask here probably could have been a lot better. So this is where you can play with this and see what you get. A huge thanks to all of my patrons on Patreon, YouTube members, and Buy Me a Coffee supporters for supporting me through my astro ventures. If you'd like to join them, please check out the links in the description and the pinned comment below.